Hey guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. I'm Kim.
I'm Steve.
And yeah, I don't look like Kim, do I?
No.
New year, new do, new style video. So as y'all can tell probably by the title, we're going to be trying out something a little bit different and actually reacting to somebody else's video. And it's kind of a popular YouTuber, Canadian prepper. And I don't personally follow him, but I kind of, as a female prepper, kind of got, I don't know, I had some questions on a video and I wanted to get Steve's ideas on his, and I don't know, this one's going to be called A Warning About Females in SHTF. So I wanted to do kind of a reaction to this mindset, I guess, more than anything. So we're going to have to put on our lovely headphones so we don't have a lot of background noises. But yeah, so cool intro time, and then we'll get started on the preppers reacting.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys. Okay, guys, I don't know how well the sound is going to sync up, so fingers crossed that this works. So, because we're recording two different screens and the headphones won't work. So there may be some overlap on sound. I'm going to try to maybe mute us while that is playing, and pause it when we need to talk. So hopefully this will work and I won't be completely inept in this. So,
you have mad editing skills. I have faith in you in post-production.
Fingers crossed. Okay, so we are reacting to Canadian preppers, a warning about females in SHTF. So we're going to start the video here.
The ultimate gray man is a woman. You cannot rely.
We are the ultimate gray men? Okay. I'm a gray man. So first...
Nice to meet you, sir.
Okay. Let me see what he has to say about this. Why women are the ultimate gray men.
On 21st century gender roles in a world without rule of law that's going to better resemble the Wild West in the 1800s. Let's talk about it.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it right quick. What we do with the intro, with Canadian preppers intro. Okay, I get in his idea that every SHTF situation is going to be an episode of Walking Dead. But I don't know if I totally agree so far with his assessment. What are you thinking so far? And it's going to be Wild West. And to me, that completely depends on the situation. What are you preparing for? And this kind of blanket statement that SHTF has happened, it's the Wild West, and us women are going to be just using our feminine wiles, I'm sure.
Well, I would like to see more before I really make a comment, because gray man generally implies that they blend in, they're not noticeable, and I'm sorry, but...
The two are kind of mutually exclusive, right?
Well, in the Old West, granted, you were either a wife, a saloon girl, an entertainer, or the pastor's wife / school marm. So, I mean, I guess that's gray, and that I'd like to see where he's going before I really say something.
Let's put up with Canadian Prepper's intro then.
All right, so we often talk about the concept of gray man crypsis in a crap hits the you-know-what scenario. And we do this because it's a given that if you can remain unnoticed, and if you can basically blend into your surroundings, if you cannot be seen, you cannot be remembered, and not necessarily not be seen, but if people's eyes just roll off of you and you blend in to the environment, you don't have anything about you that is a deviation from the socio-cultural baseline of the place that you're in, that is the gray man.
I agree with his assessment about what is a gray man. It's somebody who is not going to be particular, sticking out in the crowd. You know, what is the communist saying? It's the
squeaky wheel that gets the grease.
But it's the nail that sticks up that gets hammered down.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the ones that stick out in the crowd that is going to be kind of pushed back into. Okay, and we've talked about gray manning. We've talked about how to gray man. And it is a good concept when you are dealing with, you know, especially when you're dealing with trying to bug out, you're dealing with interacting with people, to, you know, about any kind of situation that you can think of. You don't want to advertise
so
that you're a prepper, that you're not as bad off as everybody else. And so
to continue this video, I want you to wipe all the lipstick off your face. You've got to go gray.
I don't want to go gray. I'm covering my gray. But I agree with the concept of gray manning, but it also depends on the situation. I do know of other situations where you do want to kind of present more authoritarian. I can think of ways of a book that we read about him being very assertive, being very don't approach me in the initial stages of SHTF. So gray manning is situationally dependent, I think. What do you?
I think so far he's got a very good definition of what a gray man is and a very good descriptive.
Yeah.
Now let's see how he applies it to women.
Okay.
There's a different set of rules that govern gray man camouflage for women. Full Spectrum Survival did a video about why it's important for women to, you know, be less feminine in a crap hits the fan scenario, because you don't want to not only draw attention to yourself, but you also don't want to conjure up any sort of primal drives and impulses.
Okay, yes, we've even talked about this a couple of times. You know, you don't want to be flaunting the female figure and whatnot, especially, you know, in a situation where a certain element knows that there is no justice coming for them.
You don't want to be advertising, I am a female.
Yes,
yeah.
You know, especially.
It was my new haircut, may work. I could totally pull off the kind of boy haircut now instead of my middle of my back stuff. So
especially in an area where there's no law enforcement or it is minimal. So I'm with him now, especially because I do happen to like Full Spectrum Survival's approach.
Okay. I don't watch a lot of Full Spectrum Survival, so this is kind of a new one for me. Again, I think it is situational. In some situations, pointing out that, say, you are a female, you're can get some people to kind of let their guard down a little bit, to say women and children first kind of type mindsets. Then again, some situations, say if you are bugging out by yourself, you don't want to be seen as a female by yourself. And so it's kind of, it's situational, just, you know, but I can understand the concept of turning from gray woman to gray man. Yeah?
I will agree that it is situational. I will agree that anything, not just the current situation that you're walking into, but I would almost argue geographic. You know, down here in the South, we've talked about it before, walking around in old military fatigues, particularly woodland camo, and an Army backpack or a Marine Corps backpack.
Nobody bats an eye.
It's not going to be, oh, the military's come, let's run to him for help. It's going to be,
that's Fred, he's in the National Guard.
Yeah. Or he served 2 tours in Iraq in Desert 1, or his dad did. You know, that's old gear. Whereas you go somewhere up north, you're going to be looked at and wondered if you're the local crazy.
All right, well, let's see what Canadian preppers take on gray woman.
Of the opposite sex, who may be opportunistic, starve for attention, or just downright predatorial. So he makes the point in that video that women should be as tomboy looking as possible. Now, on the one hand, that has its advantages, of course, in that many men won't be interested in you sexually. But then, as a downside, however, women also lose one of their special powers. And I do say powers. Because
we have special powers. Sorry. I'll keep going. We have special powers.
Absence of technology, which in many ways is the great equalizer of the sexes, of course, we go back to more gender-specific rules of doing things. And what's the oldest profession? Well, we all know what the oldest profession is. One of women's fundamental strengths has been throughout history is their beauty, their appearance. Now, obviously, this doesn't mean that's all they have to offer, but that is certainly something that they can use to their advantage, and they most certainly will, as they use it to their advantage today. It's called gold digging.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's better than calling it the power of the V.
Okay. Wow. Okay, I don't even know where to start. First of all, his pictures are cracking me up. It's going all over the place on how he sees women in general. Okay, this is going to end up being kind of long because we're only just not even 3 minutes into this, and I'm already kind of about to blow just my gaskets.
I thought I was supposed to be the one reacting to this because you're doing a great job.
Oh, I'm just, yeah. Yes, like I said, women are going to be in different situations. Guys will be in different situations. Everybody will have to adapt to different situations as they come. But this idea that it's an old literary trope of either the virgin or the whore. I mean, it's literally, I probably don't get demonetized for saying that, but it's this false dichotomy thing that, you know, if you are a woman and you are in an SHTF situation, you're going to try to use your feminine wiles to...
I'm not saying I won't.
But that's to kind of, I don't know, it feels like he's kind of blanketing that to all women. And I'm sorry, not all women are going to be able to pull that off. But I'm sorry, women don't tend to just kind of go off on their own. A lot of times they tend to group up. They tend to want to be a part of a community instead of just, I guess, running a saloon or something. I mean, I don't get in his mind, what he's thinking is going to happen if she's going to trade her feminine wiles for a piece of bread. Gold digging now is going to be redefined as prep digging. I don't know.
Okay, let's stop for a minute. Let's be honest. In third world countries and war zones, the human body has been known to be a tradable commodity to get what you want, particularly if you are a woman. And that's where he's going with this, it seems. Our Western mindset, first world problems here in the U.S. and Canada, finds that slightly revolting, and yet it is an option. There are some states in the U.S. where it's legal. Let's see how he's going to run this, though, because I'm running the fine line between offended and humored.
It's definitely different.
You really can't fault women trying to leverage their beauty and play on the primal impulses of men in a shit hits the fan scenario to increase their status, because most women are significantly less stronger than men and lack the capability to physically defend themselves.
Okay, I do agree that women, just physically, the average woman versus the average man, our muscle mass is less. We do have less capacity for great feats of strength. I mean, that's not our forte. That's not what we are built to do. Average man, average woman. I'm not talking extreme ends of either. You know, average guy, average girl. But there's things called equalizers in that situation where if you are a female having to go at this alone, there's the things called a cult that would be the great equalizer in my mind. So though we as women aren't able to go fisticuffs with a guy, that's not our only option. That's not our only ways of defending ourselves. If we've got to go hand-to-hand combat, that's ridiculous. That's the same thing with any man, though. If you have a below average, physically below average, strength-wise, for a guy, he's not going to try to go hand-to-hand combat with an assailant who's all hopped up on drugs and maybe twice as strong as he is. Some guy straight out of prison, you know, that's been bench pressing for years. It's stupid to think of it that way. So it's not just for women. You don't want to try to get into a full-blown fist fight with anybody because you don't know their strengths. They don't know. I mean, it's a dumb thing to even try to be involved in, but what do you think?
Well, I think, you know, he started to mention toward the end, using your wiles to move your way up the social chain.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been reading a couple of Westerns recently where a female intentionally took a job where she would be within eyesight of the town mayor in order to marry the mayor, in order to acquire the position and the money of such a man.
Okay.
So, I mean, he is partially saying that women are going to use what they got to get what they need.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that's going to be just about everybody. If you're a doctor.
But if you were going to wear this kind of weird bird beak thing, mask this guy's doing, I'm sorry.
I'm cracking up at these pictures. I don't know where he's getting this Mad Max thing from. But anyways, we'll stop.
If an altercation arose. So they play on the Achilles heel of white knights everywhere by using their beauty, feigning innocence, the damsel in distress, in order to get
That's how you got
want,
me.
and essentially in order to survive, to get a man to protect him.
That's how I got you?
Just being funny. Please continue the show. Please continue. We're 16 minutes in, and we've only got 3 minutes of the video.
I know. I
so,
can't help it. I can't help it. Okay.
On with the comedy.
On with the comedy, because I'm cracking up at this. Are you a white knight? You don't come to the rescue?
No.
Okay.
You're on your own.
And to me, that's also troping men. That it's not just troping women in this. It's totally troping men, and that they're just all white knights out. Yeah. It's not going to be like that.
Now, I probably triggered the one feminist that watches the channel. But it's just what it is.
Okay, I am not triggered. I don't consider myself a feminist. I consider myself an egalitarian. I'm not triggered. I'm laughing because it is such stereotyping. This
is falling prey to the great stereotypes of
archetypes. It's tropes like crazy, and it's more comical to me. That does he know any women? I mean, it makes me wonder. Like, does he?
No, wait. This is Canadian Prepper.
This is Canadian Prepper.
Okay, so what's he going to be selling at the end that will solve this problem?
A woman, apparently.
Robots from China?
Probably. They'll solve all your issues.
Better watch out for the coronavirus.
hardened matriarch out there shielding her beta husband from the uncertainties of the world. But that's going to be a very rare situation. This is their survival gift. This is their gift, is their ability to manipulate men with their appearance and to play on men's archetypal drive to be the hero and the protector, the patriarchal father figure.
What does it say about men? And this guy is thinking that men are just going to be so easily manipulated. To me, I find it more, I don't want to say the word offensive, but funny. I'm offended. But I'm trying to think of a better word. Comical to trope men in this way, that they have, that they're reduced to like this. I think he's insulting men more than anything, that you're just a bunch of white light knights that can't think with anything other than yeah.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Many of us men out there are hardwired to protect the weak, to perform in a protector role. I mean, that's that John Wayne taught our fathers that, and our fathers taught us that. But I'm sorry, the one triggered feminist out there has inculcated all of us into the world of equal rights, where, woman, you better keep up or shut up.
And that's the thing, though. That's what I think I'm more kind of, he's got this false dichotomy in his head. It's either a traditional helpless damsel in distress with a white knight, or a, I guess, butch feminist with a cuckold husband. I don't know. It's like he's not considering anything in the middle ground. Like, we're, I guess, not considered what you'd call average. We have weird gender roles going on. He works from home. I'm a machinist, and so it's a weird, not typical, but it works for us. And so, but we're not so much out of the norm. I mean, there's a whole range of different setups between relationships from men and women. It's a weird false dichotomy that he's got going on here. So, she doesn't need to be in the video. Cats react.
Fear of the damsel in distress. And just remember, guys, if you have no commitments with women, like you have no children, if shit hits the fan and you're not holding it down and you can't provide her with security and resources, she's going to find somebody who will. And I'm not talking about the trivial reasons why women leave men today.
Deuces! I'm out! You have provided me nothing! Okay.
I'm taking my garden and leaving you.
I'm sorry.
And half the bucketed wheat.
That's just this flat out statement with nothing. I mean, I know plenty of women that will stick with guys through thick and thin. Even in the hardest of times, they're like, that's my man. We're going to do this together. That's the only way we're going to be able to get through this. Even if the guy is not a prepper, he doesn't have anything put back. That's her man. That's who she's going to stick with, because that's where security is. You know.
How many times have we gotten messages or comments? I'm a prepper, my husband isn't.
Mm-hmm.
What should I be doing? How do I convince my husband to get on board? I mean, these women are
out
prepping the supplies for the entire family while the husband is sitting back there laughing at them.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's all kinds of combinations out there that and he's got it in his head that these women are just going to leave these men just all of a sudden because they don't have any rice and beans put back. I don't know.
I'm talking about survival instinct. Once that survival instinct kicks in and she realizes that it's do or die, she's going to surround herself with somebody who can protect her and provide her with what she needs to get.
You thought said me, Jane.
In her leather corset and violin.
You're gonna need entertainment, apparently, and she can't just do feminine wiles all the time.
I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna probably have to make this a two-parter.
They'll stick with us because they all know we love Canadian prepper.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
By regardless of what she might have to give up for it. And if that means selling you out, well, that engagement ring ain't gonna mean a damn thing. And at the end of the day, you can't really blame her, because in survival, when it comes down to the wire...
Well, that's nice that he's not gonna blame us. I'll stop.
Niceties, and most ethics, for that matter, go out the window, whether you agree with it or not. Now, many women like...
I disagree about that ethics going out the window. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people will stick to ethics more so than morality. Morality can kind of be bent in an SHTF situation where in day-to-day you would probably never kill over a can of beans. But
how good are the beans?
It's true. But I don't know. I think ethics are a different thing. I don't know too many people that will change their entire being.
To me,
well, see,
when something like this happens, when an SHTF happens, it would strip away the veneer of society. The bare wood would be laid bare. The undercoating would be laid bare. The varnish stripped off. And there are some people who the wood underneath is rotten. The chair looks great in antique and Victorian era, but the wood is rotten. And I mean, we saw that during Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
So I see...
I didn't see too many women using feminine wiles to pull those helicopters down them.
This is true.
Okay.
On with the show.
Primitive women of today are going to go back to a more primal way of seeking out partners, which is basically going to the most alpha of alpha males they can find.
Okay.
How far post-event is he talking about? I mean, if we're talking 6 to 10 to 15 years post-nuclear holocaust, okay, I can see it. If we're seriously talking Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, sure, why not? Otherwise, dude, seriously, because they've all moved back to New Orleans.
Well, not just that, this whole idea of the alpha male. We are not really wired the same way as, say, like wolves and stuff like that. Our social structures and things like that are not wired the same way to look at things as alpha male, beta male, that sort of thing. Women aren't just going after the alpha male. That whole concept is BS and has been debunked a million times. There was even a whole study done on the idea of an alpha male being debunked. And so to say that women will go after the alpha male, I call BS on it completely. Women will go for, yes, security, first and foremost. You know, your food, clothing, shelter, security. These are what every human needs. And so they will find ways to find those needs and wherever that can be found. And so I just okay, all right, we'll keep going.
Who can protect them even if it means giving up some of their sexual sovereignty.
Smith & Wesson protects me, not a
Let it run.
Okay.
That was a 5-second run, and then you pause.
Many, however,
let it go.
Who are more cunning and conniving may use their beauty to go above and beyond merely surviving, and actually use it in order to infiltrate various groups for the purpose of espionage and manipulate men into doing things.
Okay, can I stop it there?
Yes. Okay, first of all, she must have used her feminine wiles to get in with the group.
I'm la femme Nikita.
To get the assignment, and now she's going to go out and use her feminine wiles to infiltrate another group and to spy.
But no, she's only doing it because she wants to survive and stay with the alpha male, and she is small. It doesn't make sense. First, we're too scared to do anything on our own, and we need a man to protect us. But then we're going to be out and be spies for our groups. Okay.
Who writes your material, dude?
I don't know. Teenage boys in basements that have never met a woman. Most groups, no matter who come up to their gate, are going to be already established communities. And so introducing any person, man, woman, or child, is going to be completely vetted. And I don't care how pretty she is, it's not going to get her into the group.
Unless Earl's wife just died. He might be lonely.
Even then, she's going to have to be quarantined. Poor girl. Earl's terrible. Okay, I don't get where he's going with this. First, we're too weak to go out and do anything, but now we're going to do espionage on our own. Okay, and infiltrate groups because we're women and we have
she
superpowers.
But she was doing it for her group.
But she doesn't want to leave her man because
her man told her to go, so go.
What's to mind is the Shakespearean Lady Macbeth example, where she convinces Macbeth to kill the king so that he can take the throne, so she can, of course, be the queen.
We are not mentioning the Scottish play. This is bad enough.
And, of course, it ends up in disaster. Now, that's obviously just a fiction, but there's numerous female assassins throughout history who gained their strength by being underestimated, by appearing harmless, by playing on the cultural sensitivities to the whole women and children first type thing, playing on the white knights, playing on the idea that, you're more likely to be helped.
I think we should let him know that the Marvel Universe and Black Widow is fiction.
It's fiction as well, right? And a lot of female spies did not use their feminine wiles to infiltrate.
Well,
they used spy tactics because they were spies.
Well, Mata Hari
was she was not a real good spy. She was absolutely terrible at what she did. If you really look up Mata Hari, I know she's the example that a lot of people use, being this kind of... She was a girl trying to get out of an arranged marriage that was a complete bull because she wanted to go out and have fun. She wasn't even from like an exotic place. She just had an exotic look. So she told everybody she was from an exotic place. And she just started like chit-chatting with people. And then somebody convinced her to come tell her what they said kind of in bed. And she, okay. She was dumb. And she got caught. And she got killed for it. She wasn't good at what she did. She was an absolute, because she wasn't trained in espionage. She had no idea what she was doing, and she got killed for it.
I stand corrected.
Everybody loves using Mata Hari, but I've done research on Mata Hari because I thought she was a fascinating character until I did research on her. She's an idiot. You go research real good female spies, like World War II spies and things like that. No, they didn't get caught because they were trained in espionage. And they didn't use their feminine wiles in order to get behind enemy lines. Sorry.
Or female, so you can be a Trojan horse of sorts. Much closer to power. In fact...
How many Greeks can I hold? Sorry.
Probably get quite intimate with power for those women who are really committed to the task, if you know what I mean. They're just going to be far more...
Everybody knows what you mean, man. He's so terrified to say it.
Well, he doesn't want to get
demonetized by saying they're sleeping with the enemy.
More trusted than men. Men are going to not only underestimate them, but like I say, if they feign innocence and they pretend to be stupid...
Sorry, was that feigning innocence? I'm sorry, he's terrible at these pictures. Sorry.
And, they pretend to just be the domesticated, docile little housewife, when all the while they have the intention to slit Lord Humongous' throat in the middle of the night. Women can prove to be absolutely fatal. And we all know that women have a increased ability to be more socially aware. See, men, we kind of have tunnel vision. We occasionally will be able to pick up on a con that's trying to be put over us, But on the whole, we're focused on doing things, getting things done.
I'm going to have to completely disagree on this one. It's another trope to say that women are more socially kind of... Women traditionally ran society kind of behind the scenes. But they're more in the catty sense of women running other women. If you think of like Victorian England or something like that, high society was ran by women, keeping inner circles with women that they liked. Very rarely did they let men kind of in that inner circle, because it was women playing catty games with each other. But as an example of...
But didn't they have to have their circle based upon their man's position and authority and income?
Yes. And
title?
Yes. And that's where their social climbers and things like that come into play. But what I was going to get at is I completely fall out of this trope completely. You can ask Steve. I am the most socially inept person out there. I don't pick up on signals very well. I don't pick up on social cues very well. I'm not autistic or anything like that. I'm not used to it. I come from a very straightforward, blunt family that speak our mind. Steve is used to kind of inner politics in different areas, and I'm not. Simple country folks just saying what we mean. And so I never learned how to play those social games. He did. And so when I am worried, I'm like, am I missing something, or am I not picking up on what I need to be picking up on? I will ask him, because I don't have a freaking clue. So it completely depends on the woman, depends on the man. He picks up on people trying to play the game way quicker than I do. I don't, if I pick it up at all, he'll usually have to explain it to me, that this is how this is working and this is what this person is trying to manipulate to do. And it's men, women, both. So I am a complete inept person when it comes to trying to figure out social structures. And he'll have to explain it to me. So, all right, that's just a little side note.
Not saying that women aren't. Women are just far more conditioned, even today, even though technology has equalized a lot of things. Women are just more predisposed to sitting around and talking about the mannerisms, the idiosyncrasies of people, particularly of men. Women have evolved to understand the idiosyncrasies of temperamental men. Thousands and thousands of years ago, when Buddy comes home to the cave, and, you know, the woman has to pick up on all these signals, you know.
Do you know thousands of years ago we were living in caves? I could have sworn we were building pyramids and stuff, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Okay. Sorry.
She doesn't want to get beaten with a club or whatever because Buddy wasn't able to hunt that day. She's got to be able to really...
Sorry. That's another one of those tropes. Lasagna's burnt, so he's got to beat the crap out of his wife. But white knights. I don't think he knows what he's wanting to say. He's just throwing word salad out there at this point, where there's no consistency whatsoever, where damsels in distress, Mataharis, looking to be saved by club-wielding alpha males who are white knights. It's all contradictory.
He was trying to discuss the mental state and conditioning over evolution, or that has evolved over time.
Okay. It just doesn't make sense.
Read her man. And that's what women are good at, reading men. Men, not so
There's
much
the point
reading
is,
women. And as such, women are going to be able to use a lot of deceit if they want to. And they will be conscripted by groups to be used as bait, to bait men in a variety of different situations.
I can see how some groups may or may not use this tactic but a well put together group is not going to be fooled by it. Go away, cat. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. If you're going to say women are more valuable in an SHTF situation, you're not going to go sending them off on suicide missions to spy on other groups. It's counterintuitive to the group. If somebody gets desperate enough, could they send somebody in possibly to be the Trojan horse per se? It could. Somebody might try it. Somebody probably watching Canadian Prepper thought it was a great idea and tried it. But a well put together group, like I said, is going to have women in it. And they're going to have a say on who comes in. And feminine wiles aren't going to work on them. What you thinking?
I'm thinking I see his point in that women have some advantages over men. And he's trying to say that in the social game and the machinations of social politics, a woman would have an advantage going into a situation, reading the social politics and manipulating it so that she can find out what she needs to find out, etc. I see where he's going with this.
Mm-hmm.
I see the pseudo logic behind his argument, but I cannot agree with it because of, if I'm part of a group, I already know Miss Janet, who is a nominal leader. I already know her husband, Mr. Paul. I already know Mr. Johnson and his wife. I know these people who are part of this group already. We've discussed things, we've interacted with things, and it's established. It's more than just a male hierarchical structure where I take orders from Mr. Paul or Mr. John. It's all an interwoven
community
already. So, on with the show. Let's see what else he's got.
Yeah, we gotta hurry up and get through this. We're gonna be an hour.
To play on the white knight hero complex, we want to save the damsel in distress. That is going to be used against you. Now, I'm not saying that every woman who comes to you and asks for help in a shit hits the fan scenario, you're going to need to raise an eyebrow to necessarily.
Yes, every person that asks for help, no matter their gender or their age, you need to raise an eyebrow out. I don't care, man, woman, or child. You need to be vetting everyone that comes in here.
Something to be mindful of, that everybody should be treated as an equal threat in a crap hits the fan scenario, especially if that's somebody you're going to be sharing a bed with who you don't have children with. Because if you have children with them, then there's a biological aspect of trust. But even that is not necessarily going to hold through thick and thin. Women are going to make great moles and informants. Now, that said, they're probably, if used for that purpose, women who do sign up for that, who are forced into that role, are going to probably suffer some abuse before they're able to actually make their mark, depending on the nature of the group, if they're scouting. Another way that women...
Okay. I don't know where he was going with being abused.
I do. Let it go.
Okay. You mean like used and abused before?
Yes. Not just sexually, but physical abuse.
He's got a weird mindset.
This is a very dangerous mindset, a very borderline... Dude, have you seen a shrink lately?
Yeah, Where his head's going, I don't know. That was a weird whole section there that I don't even know where to begin.
Are crafty at being manipulative, and all of these things pertain to men too, I should say, but generally speaking, this is more of a survival endowment that women have been gifted, because as men, like I said, we have our physical and our patriarchal status, which is a thing for the most part, or was for many thousands of years, that never created the need for us to learn all the schemes and play all the games that women are more adept at doing. Women who are really good at this will be very subtle about it, so it doesn't appear as though that's what they're doing.
Okay, 1 second. Our camera light went out because we've been talking for way too long. There we go.
45 minutes.
Yeah, I want to hurry up and wrap this up but keep from getting a copyright strike. We have to keep pausing it, and even though he's not really making any real points with this, be aware of everyone. It's nonsensical.
Sometimes they will say more overt things that go right to the core of our manhood. And of course, because everything is all about our primal drives, if you can insult a man's manhood, you can get him to do a lot of things.
You can get punched in the face.
And that's some of the abuse he was talking about. So basically, guys, keep it in your pants. Don't let her tell you you're not a man if you don't do what she wants. Don't get played. And, oh, by the way, keep it in your pants. And you'll be fine, according to him.
Well, that's the other thing. Keep it in the community. Is having the community have a say-so. Because if he's sitting there saying that women can see through manipulations and stuff like that, the more reason to make sure you have women in your group. Make sure you have spouses. Make sure you have families that all get a say on new people and not allow this sort of thing to happen.
They can fly really low under the radar, and they can do things, and then they can manipulate the men into thinking that the things that they did, some other guy did. We've had, since the dawn of industrialization, new gender norms emerge. But in a downgraded society with less layers of cultural expectations around the issue of gender roles, it's going to take many people time to readapt to that world. You're going to have many men playing by 21st century dating and gender roles in a world that's going to more so resemble a medieval cyberpunk level of technology.
Okay, first we were going to be resembling the Wild Wild West. Now we're going to be medieval cyberpunks.
He's talking about the rules of dating.
I know, but I'm just saying earlier it was Wild Wild
Look,
West.
I'm just going to take our 14-year-old daughter and trade her to the local miller for
goats.
A lifetime supply of milled grain.
She's not worth a lifetime. I mean, we maybe get 4 or 5 sacks of grain, and that's about it.
Okay. But no, arranged marriages and stuff.
I don't know. I don't see people completely forgetting where we have come when it comes to equality and gender roles and things like that, just completely being wiped out. I see women being able to help run security, doing more than just being at home with barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. We've moved away from that. Women have moved away from that and will refuse to fall. I will refuse to fall into those roles. So, and I know a lot of prepper women that will refuse to just be pushed into those roles just because society's gotten bad, just because SHTF has happened. I do not see us losing all of the ground that we have covered. Just because, I mean, some people may not, but I wouldn't be one of them.
Some rudimentary aspects of 21st century technology, but the general infrastructure would be that of a much older time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Have I gone too far here, or have I gone far enough? I'm thinking of...
All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap it here because it's just the outro stuff. I don't know. This is going to be like an hour long now because of this, but I apologize. Yeah, I'm going to have to completely disagree with a lot of the stuff that he says, just as a female prepper, knowing a lot of female preppers out there. He has got a really, really kind of warped sense of women and men in general that is concerning. Yeah, this video is a couple years old, and I don't know. I mean, do y'all like watching this guy? And if you do, what do you find so appealing? I don't see like some advice. I liked the gray man definition. I like the, things about certain things that he's talked about, but it's a lot of fear mongering and not a lot of construction on how to possibly confront issues like introducing new people into your group, vetting people, and actually making it useful. It's just a lot of be scared and not a whole lot of help.
Be scared of the female form.
Yeah, be scared of the lady folks. Be scared of the, yeah.
I will say, toward the end, he was trying to say that, society might form, under more of a medieval or pre-industrial age paradigm, which, eventually 10, 15 years, if things didn't get rebuilt or we didn't manage to pull out, you might end up with small towns and fiefdoms and, build it around the local rancher who is now the lord of the manor. I see where he's kind of going, but wow, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, I've always kind of not really cared for Canadian prepper, and this was just, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I hope it was informative. It's just kind of, like I said, us reacting to things, and sorry this was so long, but we may only do this maybe every once in a while. We're trying to figure it out.
Well, cut it into 2 parts.
No.
Yeah, let's do it.
No. Let's just roll it. People will have something to watch and listen to. See if y'all like the longer formats. Y'all tell us.
Or you tell us if you want us to cut it into 2 parts or 1.
Because I feel really bad because the original video is only like 10 minutes. And so this isn't it. I'm sorry, but this is more than I can just write in a comment section of me going, "You're an idiot." And he'll just say, "You're an offended feminist." And I'm like, no, I'm not.
I'm triggered. There's a difference.
But yeah, to say it's more than just that. Being a female prepper in this community, knowing female preppers in this community, and knowing women who aren't preppers who are interested in this community, this kind of stuff is why there are not more women coming into the community. Because if this is how they're viewing us as just Trojan horses or damsels in distress, it really kind of... It really puts a lot of women off the community. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we're going to get out of here and go do some prepping and barricade against all those Maharahis out there. So,
I gotta make sure that no women are knocking on the gates.
Yeah. Go make sure we let our son know that he can't let any women in. So, all right, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. And if you'll stuck us out till the end, let us know. All right.
See you later.
Bye.